Hey, scrapbook friends, it's Nicole, and welcome to episode 27 of our Theme Park Thursday series. This one was a little under the wire. I was in Mexico all week in Puerto Vallarta with the Creative Memories incentive trip. Had a great time. Really want to thank all of you who supported my business and helped me to earn that trip and be able to spend time with my Creative Memories sisters and some of our home office staff. I have a couple fun things I've discovered about the company, and I think there's a spoiler in here about a future product that's coming very soon that I'm super excited about. But this is Epcot day two or layout two from day 2 at Epcot. I used again the color combo pack aqua, the Cupcake border maker cartridge, and this time I used a virtual crop sketch, and I'll put it in the description. It's the August 2022, I believe it's sketch 5. So stay tuned to see how this cute little cupcake layout came together. All right, so here we go with these pictures from Epcot. This is the first thing we did when we got to the park. We obviously got there late. I'll have to look at my notes, but I think we were out, we closed the park down the night before in the rain. Got there late, so of course the first thing we did was went to go get some food, and I think we probably got real food. I don't have any pictures of that, but we did get this blue cupcake that I think was for the Festival of the Arts. You know, they always do special food that you can only get during the festival. So we had to get, this magical blue cupcake. But what we didn't know was that it was going to turn our tongues blue. And so here's Katie. Oh, look, here's the cute blue cupcake. But then, all right. So I originally thought maybe I was going to do this as a single page and maybe use a peekaboo pocket or something. But then kind of looking at what I have coming up next, I decided that would be probably better to do this one as a double page. And then because the next two are going to be single page. And so, I know in the past, sometimes I've kind of done a little bit more of my thought process with you, live, trying to make this be as realistic as if I were, you were watching my whole process. But I feel like that kind of takes a lot of time. And also, even though I was in Mexico, I did find myself thinking about what the next few coming layouts. Usually I try to do these a couple of days ahead so I have time to edit and get them ready. And now I'm doing this Wednesday night so that I can have it ready for you guys on Thursday morning. So I did kind of sneak ahead. Hopefully that's okay. And I decided I want to use this sketch from the Creative Memories Virtual Crop. Okay, so I've got 6 photos. I've got all of these of the blue tongues that can go across right here. And then I have these 2 over here. And I'm going to have to probably, I don't know what the sizings are. This is before they put the sizes on here. But I don't particularly like it when they put the sizes on the virtual crop sketches anyway, because I need to do the sizes that work for me. And so I have all of these. I have to crop that one down a little bit, and we're going to make this work. And last week I used some of the papers from the color combo packs, and I think I want to stick with that. So I didn't put all of these away. And so I think because the cupcake is blue, actually it's blue and it's kind of got a little bit of a shimmer. So I obviously want to do something shimmery. I've got these stripes. I won't use both of these, but I could use, a couple of these. I do like this one with the rain. I think that the rain is done for this whole rest of the trip. And then I've got that line. So those are all, and the polka dots we used last week. I think those are all the ones from the aqua. But so I don't want to use the aqua again, I don't think. Even though our shirts are all aqua, I'm hoping that this blue, we can kind of match it together. And so I pulled out some Starry Night Shimmer, which I feel like is right for this. And I feel like it goes okay because we kind of have this gradation here into the different colors. I think it's going to be okay if we use this for the layout. So I think I'm going to use this for the base. And then the this picture and this picture, I think I can cut to 4x4. I don't want to cut too much because I want to keep all of this. And I already am zoomed in pretty close, so I don't want to cut too much of Katie's head off. But I think I'll do these 2 kind of on the banner. And then there'll be a a section across here. I don't know what it will be. And then I thought I would use the Cupcake border maker cartridge. This one was from the birthday border maker. We had the blue border maker. I can't remember if this was ever available separately for purchase, but I haven't used it very much, but it's just little cupcakes, so it's perfect for this. So let's look at this again. So I could do a different color along here in the middle, but I don't think I want to. I think I want these three to be the same, just with the border all in that blue shimmer. So all I need is this piece across here. And then some banners and something up here, maybe some circles. I may modify that a little bit from the, from their embellishments on here, because I just want the cupcakes and it. So let's do that. If we do the blue shimmer, I could do this light blue for the cupcakes, maybe. I don't know how that's going to work with the stripe. I could do this one for the cupcakes, because that will just give me some variegated cupcakes. I'll do the variegated cupcakes, and I do like this one with the journaling stripe, even though I don't really want to. Well, maybe I could do that, and put my embellishment down here and journal up in that space. But then I'd have to really be careful to match my line so that it goes all the way across, which can be a little bit tricky. I could do the polka dots. Maybe I do the polka dots. The problem is I only have this one each of these papers, so it's not like I can do my whole Epcot pages with these. Kind of like the little half circles. Kind of goes with the cupcakes. Maybe I'll use this one. But then what am I going to use for the actual cupcakes? I'm using this. Maybe I do need to use like the aqua as my base, and then I use the shimmer for the cupcakes with this. But if I do that, then I want to do something else right here across the middle. I could use this. I got this whole piece, and if I cut it in half, I could have the lines going behind here, and then I'll have that space to journal. I mean, I guess I could do it just on like white paper or whatever, and use the stripes at the bottom and then this in the middle. I'm trying to keep these simple though, aren't I? Whoa, not that one either. Okay, I think I'm not going to use this one. I think I'm going to use these two. Oh, but what am I going to use for my little banners up here? Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Whatever we're going to do with these little banners right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do an aqua base. That's going to tie into our shirts with these colors. And maybe I'll change the, well, I want the blue cupcake. I want the blue cupcakes, 3 rows of those. And maybe I will leave this aqua and do a stripe. But I think it's going to be this stripe. I don't think it's going to be the white. I think the white and blue stripe is a lot busier than the blue on blue stripe. So maybe I'll do the blue stripe. Oh, this is the August 2022 Virtual Crop Challenge number 5 sketch from the CM blog. blog.creativememories.com/2002/08/13. I don't know how much you have to put in to find it, but it's, I just went to the blog and I typed in, August 2022 and found the virtual crop. Okay, so I'm thinking these look like these are about the 5 and the 6-inch photos, or 5.33, whatever the digital size is, cut to maybe 3.5. And I think I can do that with all of these. These look maybe 3.5 square. They actually don't quite look square. They look a little rectangular. So maybe I could do that. I think I'm going to cut my photos first, and then I'll decide how to cut my paper. So you guys know I love the personal trimmer for cutting my photos. When I was on the Creative Memories trip this past week, they showed us the new trimmer that's coming out. First thing, they've changed the name. There are some funny stories associated with the name personal trimmer. And so it's going to be called the photo trimmer. And that way you know what its job is. It's bigger. So this current trimmer is 5 inches by 7. The new trimmer is going to be 6.5. by 9. Oh, okay, I'm off the screen. 6.5 by 9. We're losing the drawer. It's just going to be flat. It's going to be a lot like the existing 12-inch trimmer. The top looks just like this, except instead of the slide arm, it's going to have the guillotine arm. So the guillotine arm is going to be spring-loaded, so it's going to automatically kind of pull itself in to cut cleanly. So excited. So many fun new features about it. Should be available, hopefully, for advisors only to purchase the end of July, and then for everybody to order. We purchase one as a sample, like to try out end of July, and then everyone can order it in the end of August. If you need motivation to sign up to be an advisor, that might be it, to give it being an advisor a try this year. So let's see here. How much can I cut these without like decapitating poor little Katie's head? I think I guess I could cut a little bit off of that. I could do 3 3/4 here. I could do 3 3/4 here and still keep that design. And I could do, okay, so I'm going to do 3 3/4. I'm going to start like right here. I'll cut a little bit of her forehead off. Sorry, Katie. And this is going to be part of my this, and I'll cut some of my backpack off over on this side. 3 3/4. Katie's so sweet. When we go to Disney, she always carries my backpack for me. Okay, this one can come to here. That barely gives me the little design. All right, we'll cut right there. All right, so those two are going to be 3 3/4, and they're going to be on some kind of a banner on this side. And then, so all the rest of these, one of these was a screenshot, and so it printed at 4 by 6, and all the rest printed at that 4 by 5 1/4. They look like 5 1/4. And they're supposed to be 5.3, but they're 5 1/4. So if I cut, and see, I can't trim this photo down to 5 1/4 because it doesn't go out. The new one does. It's so exciting. I'm so excited. So let's take a pencil, and I'm just going to line these two up against each other. Actually, I'll do it this side, so when I go to cut, it'll be on the bottom side. I'll just make a little mark with my pencil. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see that little pencil mark right there. And then I'll just crop. Oh, sorry, a smidge of your hat, Michelle. And then I want these to be, I don't know if I can do, I think I can do this one at 3, and because she's wearing her Mickey ears, which I don't really want to lose those. I'll do this one at 3 3/4 as well. And then these others, I think I can do at 3 1/2. I should check this one. This is going to be the hardest one to do at 3 1/2. But I can do 3 1/2. That'll be fine. I want to keep the piece of cupcake in her hand. 3 1/2. 3 1/2. And I'll crop this little guy out. I don't want to cut too much of her hair on this side. 3 1/2. Okay, so that's all my cropping of photos. So here's 2 pieces of aqua. So I'm going to use these as my base now. And I think I might use the polka dot. Interesting, this is the shades of aqua, or the aqua sampler pack, but it doesn't necessarily match this aqua. Matches our shirts for sure. That's interesting. Okay, so these are going to go on here. These 2. And I think I want this to be like 4 1/4 inches wide. I think that's the width that I want. Oh, look, I can kind of get it so that I can put the little squares right around it, kind of frame the pictures with the little polka dots. Kind of see that, how it makes a frame. And so I'm going to trim it like between these two squares. Rather than measuring exactly, I'm going to just kind of put this. I'm definitely going to use the sight lines here. Take my pictures off just so I make sure that I'm straight. So I had a conversation with one of my CM advisor friends who said that she's having trouble. She feels like if she butts her paper up against this flat edge, it doesn't cut straight. She has to use the grid marks. I don't know if anybody else is finding that. I did take my zero centering ruler and kind of lined it up with the top, and it lines up perfectly. I mean, this is real precision. Let me zoom down. I mean, this edge is straight, this edge is straight. I mean, that is, that lines up. So I don't know if maybe she's like trying to line up her paper on this little side. I know a lot of people, like I see all the time, even, you know, on other advisors who do YouTube videos, if they have to cut a 1-inch piece, they come this way, you know, and then they just do it like this. And then you only have this tiny little space to keep your paper straight. And so I could see that that way, maybe it's harder to keep it straight. So I always tell people, if you're cutting less than 1 3/4 inches, put the bulk of your paper over on this side. Let's zoom back in or zoom back out. Put the bulk of your paper over on this side. So you have this whole 4 inches, 4.5 inches of space to make sure that you are straight. But I mean, that lines up perfectly. So this to me is the straighter edge. So we interrupt this scrapbooking for a little tutorial. And now this isn't quite centered. You see this side has a little bit extra. So I want to trim just a smidge off of this. That is a technical term. And I'm going to use, looks like about 1/4 inch. So I'm putting the, I'm kind of measuring with the grid. This wouldn't matter for you because you use whatever paper you have. When I'm cutting a skinny paper, I always want to cut to the direction that I'm resting it. Sometimes I rest it on the bottom edge down here, but more often than not use the top edge with the logo. So I'm going to just make sure that I'm right up there. Again, use the sight lines to see if it's where I want it. Maybe a smidge more that way. And then make sure that it's straight up here, and I'm going to cut this way so that if the paper moves a smidge, it's going to like be stopped by this. If you pull it this way, you could conceivably tip your paper. That's actually a tip I read, or I saw from somebody else years ago, was to slide your blade in the direction of whatever side you're bracing it on. Okay, so there, I think that's pretty even now. Actually, it came a little close to the dots on that side, but we won't tell anybody. All right, and so this one then I'm going to want to have the little banner thing at the bottom, but I think I'm not going to cut that until after we get everything else put together. Okay, so now I want to do, I think I'll do this. No, this is going to be the top pieces. And I think I'm going to leave this blue, which kind of messes me up because I don't know how much space to leave. All right, I took a minute to kind of clear some of the other things away, although it still looks pretty cluttery. And I think I'm going to do the top and bottom with this stripe, and I'm going to do it at 1 inch. And if I need to trim it later, I will. Maybe it needs to be 3/4 inch. Oh, I'm looking at the picture, which I have up on my stand over here. I think maybe 3/4 inch is what I want. All right, let's not do that yet then. Let's do some more measuring. So we're going to have this, and then we'll have the strip across the top, the cupcakes, and then we're going to have these pictures. Maybe I need to punch my cupcakes. So let's punch. I'm going to have to punch a lot of cupcakes because this is, I need 3 rows of them. So let's punch our cupcakes from the Starry Night Shimmer. And I'll just punch one while you guys watch, and then I'll, through the magic of a video, I'll magically have the others punched for you. Well, these are a little bit bigger than I was thinking they would be. All right, so there's the cupcake. It's pretty cute. Cupcake border. Oh, I was going to punch the cupcakes out of this, wasn't I? Have the variegated. And not even use the Starry Night Shimmer. Obviously trimmed off some of this already. All right, let me try punching the cupcakes out of the variegated and see what we think. If I do that, then of course I wouldn't use this at the top and bottom. Good thing I didn't cut this up into 6 1-inch pieces. I wouldn't have had enough left to cut my cupcakes. All right, so what do we think? Maybe we leave this Starry Night Shimmer off and we just use this cupcake. I don't know, can you tell it's a cupcake? Is it too annoying? And then if we put this next to it, that might be too much with this. Might be better with this. Oh, but I could do that and I could put this on the top. And then if I have the strip on the top, then I put the cupcakes right along this edge. And so the bottom is down here, and then I get the variations at the top for this one. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna punch the cupcakes out of the Starry Night Shimmer. I'm gonna cut the strips. They probably don't need to be a whole inch. They probably, 3/4 of an inch is probably gonna be just right. Top and the bottom. Let's see. An inch would be that much. Oh yeah, that's too much. Okay, I'm gonna do the 3/4 of an inch. And then this will probably, we'll do this last after we figure out what size those others need to be. So I will punch my 5 more strips of this, and I'll cut my 4 strips of the stripe and be right back. Okay, so I've got everything punched out, and let's go ahead and start assembling. I don't think I'm using this blue stripe, but I'm not for sure yet. So we're gonna have the 3/4 inch strips at the top and the bottom. And just because of the way I cut them, they are gonna, all the lines will go in the same direction, which is good. These, the top and bottom. And then we'll have the cupcakes here, here. Yeah. Oh no, I cut too many cupcakes. I cut 7. You know what, I cut 6 when I left you, and then I already had 1. So I've got 7 cupcakes. Okay, so we'll put this right here. And I think actually what I'm gonna do, if you notice that these 2 are exactly the same, I don't really want that. So I think I'm gonna flip these in the other direction just to give a little bit of variety. Does that make sense? So we don't have, like, it's not obvious that these are the exact same punches. There'll be that little bit of difference. Flip that one. And that will be that way. All right, so now I gotta put the pictures on. Oh, we have this banner. And I think this, they don't have this banner go all the way to the bottom. It like ends about right the top of these cupcakes that it goes. Oh, it starts here and it ends about right there. So I think, oh yeah, that'll be fine. We'll just put these 2 on here over the top of the cupcakes. No, this one goes on, this one goes this way. It goes over this one and over that one. Okay, and then we'll put, the picture of Michelle is a little bit wider. So I'll put her on this side. And then I'll put these 3 of Katie. I think I want the first one the second one, and then the, oh, maybe that way. Okay. I do love that my family is so good to play along and have fun with the pictures that we take on Disney trips. It makes it a lot of fun to scrapbook. All right, so these will be like this. And so I need the piece in the middle right here. Okay, I think I'm gonna stick these down before I measure that, because then these keep scooching around. So let me stick those down. All right, I have the stripes stuck down. None of the rest, the cupcakes are not stuck down yet. I'll probably do the bottom ones first. Yeah, I'll do the bottom ones first and then figure out these pictures. But I think we can now decide. I want the paper underneath to fill in these little cupcake bases from the base of the cupcake to the, you know, that same line that goes through the middle of the cupcakes. So it's going to be more than 3 inches. This is not a 0 centering ruler. This is just a ruler. I want it to be 3 3¾ 4. I think we're going to go with 4 inches, but because this paper has this little scallop pattern, I want to make sure that it's consistent. So thankfully, the first piece is right here at the top of a scallop. So let's see if I go to 4. I am not, see, I'm a little bit under. You can see with the sight line that I'm a little bit into the scallop. I don't know if you can see that actually. I'm a little bit into the scallop. So I think I need to just do this like a hair less than 4, which is right here. Okay, these are one of those numbers that we hate. It's 3 15/16. Okay, the little teeny tiny line or 1/16 of an inch. We're gonna cut this at 3 15/16 to get exactly where we need to be on the line. I really hope it's going to be exactly where we want it on the line. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfectly aligned right there. Perfect. Okay, so 3 15/16. That may possibly be the only time I've used that particular measurement to get my little spacing. We're done with this. And so now I'm going to stick this down and then put the cupcakes over the top and just align them so that, you know, hopefully all the one color goes in the tops and the other color goes in the bottoms. So this didn't quite exactly work the way I had hoped. There's a little bit of the underneath color poking up into the cupcake, which I'd hoped that this would just be a solid line, but I don't think it's super noticeable. But I got all of the base down in the bottom. So all I'm doing for this one now are these two, because when I put the banner, that one goes on last. So I'll do these 2 on this side and then all 3 on the other side. Oh, no, I'm not going to do the top one on the other side because we got to put the banners. Okay. So now we're ready to stick the photos down. We're going to trim this guy. And I think I'm going to use, for the banners, I think I'll use a piece of this polka dot. I really want to use the back. That's awfully white. Piece of that. This is that raindrop. I don't think I can use that. That's too much. That's the same one. I have this stripe. The back is a little bit of plaid. That's really a lot. I don't know how I feel about that. And I got this one, which is also a stripe, and it's white with blue polka dots. Oh, I don't know what to do about those little banners. I almost feel like the banners are going to be too much for this. But I'm going to have to put some kind of a title. And it's not going to be that big of a title. So I need something to fill up some of that space. Well, let's go ahead and do this banner right here. I want to do this. I'm going to have the cupcake over the top, like that. And so the pictures, oh, where did they go? Actually, I think what I'll do is I'll do this backwards, just for measuring purposes. So I want the cupcake over the end, like this. And I'll put the two pictures. And then I want the points to end right about here on the cupcake. It's about right here. And so then I could do the end of the point right about here. Okay. I'm just going to take this, fold it, and hopefully you guys know how to do a little banner. I'm creasing it more than I usually do just because it's big. And I want to make sure I get the sizing right. All right, I'm going to come from here, from the outside edge in up to the fold. There we go. So that's going to go right here. Oh, perfect. Okay, that's exactly where I want it. Right over, kind of between these two little cupcakes right here. Okay, let's stick that down. It is hard to say goodbye to all this beautiful journaling paper. But there's not really that much to say about these cupcakes, except that they turned our tongues blue. So I'm just positioning it here, lining it up with this. There we go. Okay. Oh, I wonder if that can maybe, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to use that on the other side, but we'll see. We'll see, we'll see. And now I can stick this one down, and I need it to be that way. You know, and I do notice that I use more repositionable, I think, than I do the regular. I think that's why I prefer the regular, because I wouldn't feel like I had to put 1.5 inches of adhesive on each of these sections, but I somehow do when I'm using the repo. And I found that for me, what I like is to do the bottom side cupcake has a little, I don't even know what that word is, a little swoop, little points. And so I'm doing that's the part that shows through, like right here. Those little points, I mean, it shows through on the bottom. Because icing, if you had like icing on a real cupcake, there might be some cake that showed through underneath. Do I want Katie on the top, or do I want a close-up of the cupcake? Maybe I want Katie on the top. I was going to do it like that, but I think I'll do it like that instead. And then she goes right here. Oh, and I want to make it so that these fit within the squares. Remember that? We talked about that before. Oh, that's going to make this. Maybe I'll do it that way. All right. Makes it not quite long enough. If I don't want to go off, I guess we'll do down there. All right, let's see. I should have done the bottom one first. I'll do the bottom one first. I'll leave this kind of a little gap. And this fits right in here with the squares going around. I'll pop this one down a smidge. There we go. And we got the little white lines kind of framing those pictures. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to notice it really, but I like it. Okay, then we'll put her right here about a 1/4 inch. And I will point out that this is one of those cases where the cardstock appears to be a smidge shorter than the printed paper. All right, so all of them, they went off the edge a little bit. So I am going to just take my scissors and snip that off. So I don't like it. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason. Sometimes it's the cardstock that's bigger than the paper, and sometimes the paper is bigger. But it's just, you know, the nature of machinery. I mean, it's to make it precision to within the 1/16 or 1/32 of an inch. You know, it's not worth that. We don't want to pay for that kind of precision. It's just easy enough to trim something off. I'll just center that between these two. Okay, and then I can journal in here. Now I'll use these three and just align them with these, like that. So I'll just use this one to help me position this one so that they're all evenly spaced. I didn't really check the spacing on these. I guess if it's a little bit, I think I don't want to space them out exactly. Oh, I don't know, maybe I do. I kind of like to have the even spacing and then have a little extra space right there. You know, I've talked before about how I was on the yearbook staff in high school, and we learned some basics of layout design. And one of those is that even spaces between pictures is visually pleasing, and that whenever you have extra space, they call it white space, it should go to the outside. So like this right here is kind of wrong according to some design principles, but because we're going to journal here, then it counts as a thing in here in the middle. Okay, so now I've got to figure out those little banners. There's 3 of them, and they look like they go about to here. So about 3-inch banners. So we could definitely do one of these. Use this piece that I had left over, even though I folded it. I'll do them an inch. Oh, sorry, okay, broke my own rule. An inch and a, okay, I can just barely get an inch and a half. And this one's going to be tricky because I don't have really a good straight edge to line up with anything, so I am going to use the grid lines. So there's my inch and a half by 3 inches. And I might actually use a piece of this as a journal box in there. I think I will be happier if I do that. And I always struggle now with where do I cut my little piece? You know, part of me wants to just cut here so I can have, you know, I just not to waste as much, but then this stops being 12 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut it the long way. And if I have extra, I have extra. What's on the back is the stripe. Okay, I don't think I want the stripe. So cut that by 3 inches right there. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, it does. Oh, I say that doesn't look like it's the same, but I think it is. Do I want this one? I don't have many choices. I could do the polka dots and use that as like dot grid journaling, but I don't think I want to do that either. Oh, but I do like this blue journaling. Okay, I think I like the blue better than the white. So I'm going to do this 1.5 inches by 3. This one's getting lost. And then I think I'll, how does that look? might be one. I don't do a lot of inking, and I don't really want to start now. I think I'm just going to have to say that it's going to be fine. All right, so this is another one. We're going to cut the little banner, and I don't want the banner to be too much for this one. Although I kind of want it to be similar in angle to that one. I'm looking at the sample again, and their cut was a lot shallower. So maybe I do need this to be about there. Okay, that's what it's going to be. I've cut the first one, and now I'll just use this as a pattern to cut the other two. I want that to go that way. I guess I don't have to fold it, do I? Just fold the one I'm going to cut. Okay. Not sure what I'm doing wrong here. Oh, I'll use this piece. How about that? Just use that piece on there. Ouch. Try not to poke yourself with your microchip scissors. It's always a good tip. Skin. That worked well. Use this so that I get all of my little banners the same angle. Oh, look, it's the same angle as the stripe that's already on there. Okay. I'll do it like that. This balances off with that. That's going to balance off with, oh, maybe I want to do it like that, because that's going to balance off with the journal piece that I put in there, which is not going to be this skinny, I don't think. All right, we'll stick these down. And even though I folded them and they look a little, you know, you can see the little folds. Once you stick it down and it settles into its new home right here, it's going to be fine. But I mean, if you can avoid creasing it, that's probably best, which I didn't really do. I creased it a little bit more than I like to. All right, that's all right. I think it's okay. I mean, you can see that, but it's very subtle, but I think it does what it needs to do. And now I just need to stick, okay, not this way. I need to stick this guy down. And I don't know how you guys feel about me, like, speeding through some parts. I feel like if I'm doing work, I need to be talking, filling the dead air. And I mean, I guess I have stuff to say, but it just seems like it's faster if I just do my thing and then cut through to the next segment. So there's one. More talking or more speeding through or less speeding through. And probably I won't get a complete vote from everybody. Okay, I think right here, now that I'm looking at this, I need to go around these with a pen. You know, like I've done with sticker letters, although they're not completely stained down, so that might be a little bit scary. But I'm gonna try it. Wish me luck. I'm holding down the banners themselves so that they can't slide while I trace around them. If I'm going to do this, I probably have to go trace around this guy, although there's a lot more contrast right there. I hope those are straight. They're not looking very straight. Now they're on here. This one looks a little crooked. It is a little crooked. I wonder if we can cover up the pen mark I just made. Maybe. It's a little a little off the edge, but I won't tell anyone if you won't tell anyone. Have that be a scrapbooking secret. I think I want a little repo on the point there. Nope, I went off. Didn't. That one too, I did that crooked. It was bad up there. All right, I think that's, I don't love that where I messed up, but I like it better with the banners traced around. So I think I'll just do that right here too. Yes, like it better with the line. And now we decide what we need for some journaling. I'm going to use this paper for some journaling that needs to be about 1 3/4 wide by that 5 1/4, which was the height of our photos. I said 1 3/4. I don't think that's what I meant. Nope, I meant 2 3/4 wide. 5 1/4, which happily is the distance you can cut on your trimmer right here. It's a little smidge long. I'm gonna cut a little hair off of it. That's better. All right, so I'm gonna do some journaling. I wonder if I save my memorabilia, and I always save all this stuff from trips like this, but I can't find it. It didn't get put in my 2022 bin, which is my biggest, hindrance as a scrapbooker, is my lack of organization and not putting stuff away right away. So I may have to Google this, the food from the Festival of the Arts, or was it Flower and Garden? I think it was actually Flower and Garden in March. Yeah, it was Flower and Garden. And I'm going to find out what the name of this was, and then probably Celebration Cupcake. And then I'll journal, and then I'll come back and we'll figure out what we're going to do about all this big empty space now here at the top, which, I did say I wanted these Epcot layouts to be a little simpler, and maybe that's, just a little title right here, and it will be simple enough. So let me journal, figure out the name of this stuff, and I'll be back. Okay, I've done my journaling, and it's a good thing that I had that whole 12-inch strip, because I actually kind of messed up and I squished in. It would probably been fine, but So I just used the other piece, and I just said our first stop always seems to be for food. We've been tracking some of the special 50th anniversary treats online, so knew we had to try the lemon chiffon cake with blueberry mousse at Sunshine Seasons inside the Land Pavilion. It did take me a little bit longer than I wanted to look it up, because I thought this was a cupcake. It wasn't a cupcake. But then I was glad I had used the lined paper for this other banner so I could write up here. We didn't realize it would turn our tongues blue. I think that worked right there. So now I just need a title and to figure out the embellishments. If I look at the original, they have lots of, they have a little embellishment down here. They have something up here. They have something there and there. And I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to leave the banners as the only embellishment. I'm not going to put something in between here. I think it's enough with what I've got. Oh, sorry. I think just all of this is enough, because like I said, I'm trying to do these a little bit simpler. So I think I'm going to put, I think I still put the title here. But I don't know what I'm going to say. I mean, something like blue tongue just seems kind of dumb, but I don't know. Let's see if I can find a title online. I do this sometimes. Scrapbook title blueberries. Nope. Not really getting anything. Strawberry blueberry scrapbook layout ideas on Pinterest. Oh, there's some cute ones. I'll have to come back to these. I don't want berry picking. Oh, that one's really cute. All right, sorry, getting distracted. All right, let me do some searching. Oh, I didn't show you the one I thought was really cute. I will show it to you. This one. Isn't that cute? I kind of like those two circles. But let me do some thinking about a title, and then I will come back, and maybe I'll do the title and come back because I'm just going to use sticker letters, so you guys don't need to watch me do that. So I'll figure something out. I'll be back. Turns out the internet couldn't help me. I came up with my own title. I'm looking at it now, and it's not quite spaced the way I want it. And even though I used the ruler trick, but now I'm realizing I stuck it down, so when I pull it off, it's ripping off. So it's going to have to be good enough. I did try to kind of use the little lines here in the design to help me keep it straight and keep it centered. It's a little bit not centered because I needed the Y to kind of be here in this space. Otherwise, it was going to touch the letters. Anyway, blah, blah. So it's kind of silly. You know, there's a song, Try the Gray Stuff. It's delicious. And so I just kind of came up with that. You know, the internet didn't really help me. But I think it's done. The original inspiration idea did have those kind of embellishments. I don't think it needs it. I think the cupcakes are plenty of embellishment with the ribbons. I think anything else would be way overkill. But I had fun with this. I think it does kind of stick to the simple, which is funny because it's crazy busy with all of these. But the next layout, I believe, is going to be a single page. So that'll be good and a little bit, hopefully a little bit shorter. But thanks for tuning in for layout 27. Tried the blue stuff. It'll be next week. I'll be back with another edition of Theme Park Thursday. Thanks so much for watching.